Hello and welcome to part 2 of my 2024 knitwear roundup. This year I have made quite a few garments, that's why I have had to break them into 2 videos. In the first video I talked about 35 finished objects, 3 abandoned and 3 whips. So if you're interested in seeing those, go ahead and click the first video. The reason why I kind of ran through them a bit more quickly is I actually documented most of them on vlogs and podcasts early this year. So gave them a quick rating and then put them in the first video. The second part here, I've got 15 more finished objects, which I have not, I think I have not talked about previously on YouTube. So I'm going to spend a tiny bit more time on each of these, show you what they look like and give it a rating as well. If this is the type of video that you enjoy, please keep watching. So the first finished object in this video is the Moon Glow top by Zanete Knits. I may have already talked about this in previous podcast, but no matter, here it is again. So this is the Moon Glow by Zanete. It is a top-down construction tank. You start with the back here, cast on in the middle, increase like an English tailoring style down the sides, knit it down to the armhole. Then you pick up each front and knit it down to the armhole again, joining the round and finish it up. It did say to finish with an I-cord, but I found that to be too thick because I like to tuck my clothing. So I just finished with a no roll hem, which is picking up a stitch from 2 rows below and knitting it together. I did finish the edges here with I-cord, which you can't really see. The yarn I used was 2 strands of woolly yarns linen with some lurex in it, and it's really lovely. It is quite stiff, being 2 strands of linen. Get a bit closer. Yeah, and there is a bit of lurex in it, so it has a nice shimmery gold. I really like it. I really like this yarn, and I kind of wished I use it to knit something that's loose gauge and a bit drapey rather than this one, because it really hurt my hands while I was knitting this with 2 strands and a tight gauge and lace. But no matter, I do enjoy wearing it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I do wish I used a softer yarn, but I like the design. The design is absolutely beautiful. She is so clever. It was a very big lace pattern and I had to concentrate rather than watch TV. But overall, a lovely top. So the second one in this video is the Prosco top by Marzena Kolaczek, my favorite designer. I was test knitting this for her a few months ago, so I'm not sure if I talked about it on the podcast, but here it is. It is so warm right now. I've got the fan. I really should turn the air conditioning when I put on this jumper. It is a I would say Aran weight Alpaca mohair blend from woolly yarns, and it's got some lovely sequin in it as well. And the color is a beautiful peachy pink. The design is very clever. You start from the back, so you can see the back seam. Start from the back, knit until the armhole. Then you do the front, knit until the armhole. Join it in the round, knit down. Finish with a split hem, and then you pick up for the sleeves. So it's just a basic boxy shape, but just all these little details like the little twisted stitch on the neckline, the gathered stitch pattern all throughout the jumper, beautiful cuffs as well. Yeah, just lovely, very comfortable to wear. I haven't worn it yet because it's hot and I think it's going to be too hot for me to bring to Hong Kong next week. So it's going to be going with me to Scotland in March. I cannot wait to go to Scotland and London. Firstly, it's lovely and cold, and also I just love Europe. I love everything about Europe, and I can't wait to check out all the yarn shops in the UK as well. And also, this one is a 5 out of 5. Now, my third garment in September was actually a test knit for Norah, one of my favorite designers. It's called the Checkered jumper. I have to insert a photo here because Mum has stolen it. It was a little bit too big for me anyway. The positive ease and the boxy fit doesn't suit me because I'm too short. So Mum loved it. She stole it and she wore it to Europe straight away. And I just loved being a test knitter for Norah because I love her designs. and she's such a clever designer with so many beautiful patterns, and I've made quite a few of her patterns in the past as well. So the checkered jumper, it is bottom up, knit in pieces. Was it? I don't even remember now. Yeah, it was knit in pieces, knitting around, bottom up, and then separate for front and back panel. So sew up the shoulders, some short rows here. Then the sleeves were picked up and knitted down. You finish with a high neck. I ran out of yarn, so mine was a bit of a mock neck rather than a high neck. And the yarn I used was Rowan Soft Alpaca DK. Alpaca Soft DK. Yeah. I really liked the yarn. I would definitely use it again. And the pattern was lovely too. Not for me. Mum loved it. So I'm going to give that one 5 out of 5. Third one in September is also a test knit. So I did 3 test knits in September. And I'm boiling here. So this is the Anais sweater. Anais sweater by, who's it by? Gregoria Fibers. Anais sweater by Gregoria Fibers. It is top down contiguous shoulder. So I actually made a mistake here. You can see it's quite just a nice seam. You're supposed to have kind of an eyelet there. I initially increased it as the instruction, and I thought, oh, why is this so loose? So I twisted it rather than doing what she said. And afterwards, I looked at the finished object and I realized it's supposed to be loose to create an eyelet effect, which I didn't do, but I don't hate it. It's okay. Lesson learned to trust the designer. Also, it was supposed to have a frill down the bottom. I'll show you a photo where I did start with a frill down the bottom, but I ran out of yarn, so it was very small. And it didn't give enough weight to be a full frill or a full peplum. Therefore, after the test knit was finished, I took some photos and unpicked it and then made it into a normal hem, which is just the perfect length now. The yarn is a Cashmere Birket yarn by Woolly Yarns. Surprise, another Woolly Yarns fiber, and it's really lovely. It's Aran or worsted weight and knits up beautifully. I think it was about 18 stitches. Yeah. Really soft, doesn't itch at all. Beautiful grey, cold grey color. And I wore this to New Zealand in October. It was so lightweight and warm. I want to bring it to Hong Kong, but I have too many other jumpers to wear. Otherwise, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. All right. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this jumper a lot. This is my beautiful little red cardigan. So this little red cardigan I have wanted to make for a long time. The yarn is Rowan Pure Cashmere, which I have had in my stash for maybe 2 years. And I've always wanted to make something with it, and I decided I wanted a lucky red cardigan. It is a DK weight, and I bought this on sale. And if you haven't noticed, red is probably my favorite color. I have so many red jumpers. So I wanted to make a really basic boxy cardigan, and I went online and had a look at so many patterns out there, but none of them were quite right. And also I wanted to be top down contiguous shoulder, so I don't have to do the seaming. In the end, I did find a pattern called Tricot MCL, I think that was her name. And it is a top down contiguous cardigan. And she had frills down the front. So I basically took that design, didn't do the frills, and then changed the cuff and changed the hem. And also changed the button bend as well. So it is top down contiguous DK weight with a saddle shoulder. I added some twisted ribbing stitch to the cuff and collar, and same with the button bend. I find if I do a joint button bend that's 1x1 rib, it always ends up being too loose and I end up with an extra long button bend. So I twisted it, which yeah, I made it tighter and it looks great. The neck I had done quite a few times, and if you watch my Instagram story, you know that I started the whole jumper quite a few times because I kept doing the maths wrong. The buttons are just some old buttons I found that I had in my stash from my old tailoring shop. Yeah, and the color, just the color. And let me tell you why this jumper is lucky. I went to New Zealand in October, went on an e-bike to a winery, and I'm not a very confident rider, and because it was supposed to ride around the lake, nice and flat, but it got flooded out, so we ended up going up and down mountains and next to a highway, and I was freaking terrified. there was one turn, it was very sharp, it was down a hill, so dirt, sharp turn, hill, and as I was turning, I just fell off. Actually, I was just scared and I bent the bike and I jumped off and I just kind of slid across the floor. My hands had all this gravel rash on it and my body had gravel rash. The top I was wearing inside was all ripped up, but the jumper, which was on top of the top, not a scratch, nothing. Yep, good as new. You can't even tell that I fell off the bike onto some dirt gravel, can you? So yes, this is my lucky red cardigan. I mean, it wasn't dangerous when I fell because it was on a country road, but I was a bit scared. And then I didn't get back on the bike for like another hour. And I was just pushing along. My husband said, just get on the freaking bike. So in the end, I did. I got to the winery and I've decided either I'm never going to go on a bike again or I'm going to really learn how to ride a bike. Which one? Don't know. 5 out of 5. Everything has been 5 out of 5 so far. I think I've had a pretty good run. The next two objects, they're not going to be 5 out of 5. They are test knits for Knitonomy. She seems to be quite a popular new designer at the moment. So we've got the Fresno hat. Yeah, Fresno hat and a Bloomfield hat. So I tested them both. I think I signed up for both and I just did them at the same time. A lot of other testers also tested for both. This one now also comes in a dress, a top, a scarf, mittens, everything. Just a very cute, simple 4x4, no, 2x2 cable pattern. So I made these two hats. They are lovely designs. This one is made with the Brooklyn Peerie. I have had the Peerie in my stash for a long time. Pretty cute. However, it's just that I have a really big head. So with this kind of hat, I kind of feel like top of a condom. Don't know. Does it look okay on me? Not loving it. Oh God. I'm looking at my computer screen and it's kind of mirror image, so I can't tell my left from right. It looks okay now. Maybe it don't look. Does it look like a condom? I have a look in editing. So this is the white version with Peerie, Brooklyn Tweed Peerie, and this is my almost mauve version. This is a leftover yarn from my Scale and Theodore cardigan. See video 1. And it's more of an Aran weight. And this is the Fresno hat. Again, comfortable, warm, doesn't feel tight. It's just a little bit short. And I still feel like a condom. It's so pointy at the top. So round here and then a little bit of point at the top. I'm not sure. I was thinking of giving it away to my little nieces and nephew, but let me have a look at them again in editing and decide if I like them or not. I'm going to give these two a 3 out of 5 because I'm just not in love with them. They're lovely, but I'm not in love. All right, next we have the Fjolla top, Fjolla T-shirt. I think this was a jumper designed by Isabel Kramer. Sorry, something's shedding a lot. This is a top by Isabel Kramer. It's a top-down contiguous design with lace shoulders. You see? Yeah, lace saddle shoulders and a little bit of lace in the front. Lovely. So most people have made this in a DK or worsted weight and long sleeved. I just had this beautiful silk from Woolly Yarns. It's 100% silk in light fingering, and I wanted to make a simple t-shirt with it. So I adapted the Fjolla design, just did some calculations and converted it into a fingering weight. Basically, I chose a size medium rather than an extra small, and the finished result fits perfectly. It's very easy to knit up. I did use my trusty Excel spreadsheet to map out the instructions. If you have watched one of my earlier videos, you'll know that I love Excel to simplify designs because roll 1, knit 2, skip 2, that drives me crazy. I like to map it all out in Excel spreadsheet. And I did that for this top, and now I can just quickly look at Excel if I want to knit another contiguous design very quickly. So this is the silk t-shirt. It's a navy color. Yeah. Now, it's comfortable. It's quite warm actually, being silk. I have found this previously, as I have mentioned with my Woolly Yarns silk and linen tops. It twists. It's knit in the round, but even the top, it wasn't knitted in the round. Yeah, the whole thing was knitted in the round, but it twists so bad, as you can see, just keeps wanting to go this way and I have to constantly pull it back to adjust it, but it still wants to twist to the left no matter what. Same with the body, it just, oh, there's a loose bit there, it just twists. So I can't really wear it out because it looks like I need to adjust my top all the time, which is very frustrating. So either I unravel this and do a flat kind of top, knitted flat top, or just live with it. I don't know. If I take off the mic, let's see if it's better. No, it's not better. You can see it's still going to the left. It's still going to the left, and I have to keep pulling it back. This one is 3 out of 5. Next, we have the Sodermalm top. It sounds like an IKEA name. So this is a Sodermalm top. I wanted to show you the beautiful neck before I put this lapel mic on. So it's kind of like a overlapped, it's overlapped and sloped in the front. Yeah, very clever. I think she also had a little bit higher. Mine's not as high. The yarn I used was Knit Picks. No, it was Purl Soho's Alpaca, soft alpaca. And it's a slanted front. So this part is slanted down. The back is straight. There's a bit of ribbing on the shoulder, which I have folded in. All right, I'll show you what it looks like before I sit down and talk about the details. And I'll insert a photo. That's probably going to be easier. So the Sodermalm, I found this pattern in the Knitter magazine in my local library. Our library has lots of knitting magazines, which is great. And I liked it because it was a little bit different. It was asymmetrical. And I had this yarn in my stash for quite a while. It's such a soft alpaca. I have used this in a grey before in my Missoni Accomplished sweater. And Mum stole that, so I wanted to make an alpaca top for myself. The colour is like an aubergine magenta purple, and it's knitted bottom up. Was it? Yeah. Top down? I don't even remember now. No, I think it was knitted bottom up. So I knit the back piece first, flat, ribbing, and then stocking stitch and ribbing on the edges. Then I knit the front piece. Same thing, ribbing. Must be top down then. Honestly, I cannot remember now, even though it was just 2 months ago. So the top, you basically do some short rows through here. After the short rows, you do the ribbing. So it was actually quite easy. I think I did the short rows and the ribbing at the same time to create this beautiful slit. The hem is finished with an I-cord. Same with here, the collar is finished with an I-cord. You pick up the collar and then you short row. On the inside, you actually cast on 13 stitches, so it was like a little flappy bit with short row. When it's done, you just sew it down, so it creates a nice overlap. The shoulder, if you can see the photo I insert here, I'll insert a photo here. The shoulder used to be quite wide and floppy because you do these ribbing at the same time as the body. And I forgot that my ribbing is way looser than my stocking stitch, so it became quite floppy and I didn't like it. So in the end, after I took that original photo, I just folded it in and then put a few stitches in. So now it looks like a little bit of a army shoulder, almost like I have shoulder pads in. And I think that looks heaps better, don't you think? Yeah, I like it heaps better now. It looks like a lot more structure for my very sloped and narrow shoulder, and it gives me a nicer shape, more proportion. And I really like how this ribbing, this part is right on my waistline, so it looks really slimming. Yeah. So what would I give this one? Still 3 out of 5. I think the yarn I chose was too soft for this design. Even though it's comfortable, I think this design really needs something with a bit more structure and a bit more plumpness to hold the collar shape. And my effort in the ribbing, again, wasn't very good. I should not, remember Claire, don't rib and stockinette at the same time because my tension is too different. So 3 out of 5. So in October, I knew I was traveling to New Zealand. And as I was packing, I realized I didn't have a basic white jumper. So I quickly went and casted one on. So this is my beautiful basic white jumper, slightly cropped, drop shoulder. So the yarn I used was 2 strands of Rowan Cashmere Haze, my favorite mohair substitute. It is mohair? No. It's brushed cashmere, alpaca, and silk. A discontinued yarn, but highly luxurious, and I stocked up before they went out of stock. The base design for this jumper was a Telapia by Marzena Kolaczek, which I have knitted before. I adjusted it so it wasn't as boxy here because I wanted a undershirt, basically, something to put jackets over. And it has a slight puff sleeve, and then I just did normal rib sleeves and rib hem rather than in Telapia. She had a beautiful lace hem, lace cuff, and frill hem. So I just did basic ribbing. And then when I finished, I realized my tension wasn't fantastic and it just didn't look very store-bought. So I found this little piece that I took off one of my vintage cardigans a while ago. So this was on a little Prada cardigan that I bought secondhand, and I never wore a cardigan, so I took this little bit off thinking one day it'll come in handy. And I think it does. So when I wear this top, I plan to hook this onto the neck. I was going to put some hook and eye on the jumper, so this hooks on. And then I went to the craft store, bought some ribbon, and I'll just do a little bow in the back because it doesn't quite reach. It's quite a big gap, doesn't quite reach, so I'll do a little bow in the back. The silk ribbon I got is exactly the same cream color. So yeah. I didn't want to attach it onto the jumper because this is really heavy and it's going to distort the jumper. So I'm still deciding if I sew it on, hook and eye it on, or just wear it on top like a little collar. Sure. The jumper I'm going to do 4 out of 5, even though it's lovely, very super duper warm and light. My effort wasn't very great because the tension is not very even. So now I'm nearly out of my Cashmere Haze stash and I'm very sad. Okay, I'm really pumping through these. This top you will recognize because it's a very popular design. It is the Love Letter top. Love Letter top by Veronica Lindbergh. Cute, right? So this top I used 2 strands of linen by Woolly Wagtail. I bought this linen at a market a few months ago. So a local yarn store, wasn't local, it was 30 minutes north, but they held a yarn market, had all the local dyers coming and in their backyard set up some tents. It was pretty cool. So this is a beautiful beige linen. I held 2 strands and did the Love Letter top. I've already worn these a whole heap of times. I did do a few modifications. So all the baubles on this love heart down the bottom I didn't do because I was quite short on yarn, and it was a perfect choice because I wouldn't have had enough to do all the baubles on here. And I also, because narrow shoulders, I don't like a racer back. So I chose a medium for this part and then a small for this part. It is still super racer back, right? Oh well, it's okay. It kind of hides my bra straps. Not quite, but it's better than if it was a small. Yeah, this one I'm going to do 5 out of 5. I love the yarn. It's really light and it was quite hard to knit with, but now it's really softened compared to Moonglow, which hasn't softened at all. This has really softened and it's really comfortable to wear, and I just love the color and the design. 5 out of 5. This top I will have to talk very, very quickly because it is warm. This is my Purple Rain jumper. Did this recently with a Woolly Yarns, I think it's a mohair alpaca blend with sequins. Check out this color. Check out the color, right? The camera doesn't quite capture it, but it's like, imagine a sunset, it's misty, it's kind of overcast, but the sun is shining through the clouds, so there's a bit of purple and a bit of blue. That's what this looks like. And the sequin is actually a matte beige. Just beautiful. So I just did a quick self-drafted pattern. Initially, I thought I can only make a singlet, a vest, but afterwards I realized I did have enough yarn for sleeves. So yeah, that much yarn left. It's super duper warm and comfortable and cozy, doesn't really itch much, and just the most amazing color. I love it. 5 out of 5. I think this top also featured in my stories quite a bit. I call it the orange sunset. Yeah, orange sunset vest. So the design was most of it's taken out of a Drops Gaughan Studio pattern, but I changed it quite a bit, of course. So the main orange is Chin Fibers Melted Suri, and I bought this at their Serendipity sale quite a few months ago when they were doing a sale online for Serendipity skeins, which I think is colorways they trialed and never decided to manufacture. So I thought it was red online, which I love. I thought it was fire engine red, but it actually turned out to be like a traffic cone orange. But I still like it. So I was racking my brain trying to find something to knit with, a pattern to use this with, and I decided on this vest. So the white is Drops brushed alpaca, and the gold is the last little bit of my Parisian chunky mohair. If you saw my stories, this is pink brushed alpaca Drops. If you saw my story, you know that I tried to put in some sleeves and it did not turn out very well. It just looked, because this is so oversized and I didn't really have enough yarn to do a proper sleeve. It ended up being about here. It was so tight, so it didn't work out. Then I took out the sleeves and I used this orange to make a higher collar. And I think this works so much better. And I'm putting a bit of a split hem as well. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to wear this in Hong Kong because it's really cute and cozy. And what score did I give this one? 4 out of 5 because, yeah, a lot of going back and forth. Second last one. This one is so cropped, goodness. So this is the Gregoria, which means guava. Stand here. This, yeah, this is better. So this is guava top by Marzena Kolaczek. She gifted me this pattern because I test knit for her heaps, and I think it was Prosco. Yeah, after Prosco, I got this pattern. It was originally in Pom Pom magazine a few years ago, and yeah, I just think it's really a cute summer top. So I had 150 grams of this fingering weight yarn from Wool Yarn. It is 20% Angora with some Merino. And because I didn't have much, so I thought I'd knit a little top, and I chose the Gregoria. Unfortunately, ran out of yarn. As you can see, this sleeve is supposed to also have this wavy finish. It's just short rows to create this beautiful wave. Didn't have enough yarn, so I just did a I-cord finish. But I think it's still cute, still works. The pattern is really cute. It's a very simple lace repeat. My regrets with this one is only getting 3.5 stars because of the yarn. This Angora just sheds like mad. When I was knitting, it was just fluff everywhere. Even now, I just put this on and I can just see fluff flying around me. It's just insane. I think Angora is rabbit, but the staple is so short, I don't know how I'm going to wear this without creating a mess everywhere. I'm wearing linen shorts and it's already covered in fur from trying on all of these jumpers. See? So I don't know. It's just sitting on the mannequin at the moment. I've given it a wash. Maybe I'll give it another wash, try and make it shed as much as possible now rather than later. Also, it's really warm, so probably not suitable for a t-shirt. 3.5. Last one for 2024 so far, because I'm pretty sure I'll finish some of the other whips. And also, why didn't I start the video standing? I'll never know. So this is my latest FO, the Lacy Aran top by Hitomi Shida. Beautiful lace. The lace pattern was impossible to memorize, so it was a high concentration project and it had been on my needles for months and months and months. I did the body, and I started with one sleeve to get the gauge. That was going to be my swatch. Then I did a body, modified it to be knit in the round rather than piece by piece. Just makes it a bit easier to knit the lace pattern when it's in the round. The sleeve I did knit in the round. It was a little bit painful. So the yarn I used, the grey, is 100% Laura Piana Cashmere. in DK weight, and it's so soft and so soft. The most amazing yarn. I do love a cashmere. However, I realized quickly that I didn't have enough to finish the jumper. That's why it went into hibernation for a while again, because I didn't know what to do. I keep going back to it, and then I keep going back to it, and then not continuing. So in the end, still Angora flying around. So in the end, I thought I'll color block it, because the other alternative was to frog it and start again. But you know, there was a lot of work that went into this lace, just a lot of work. It is a highly complicated lace. So I thought I'll color block it. So black part here, this is Bendigo Woolen Mills Luxury 8 ply. And I have talked about this wool before. Everyone in Australia seems to love it, but I have not understood why yet, because compared to the grey, it is so hard, so thick, and feels a bit, it doesn't feel luxurious to me. I don't get it. So there is a bit of regret that I had to color block this. The yarn textures are very different. This is soft and light. This is heavy and crispy. And you can't really see the lace patterns in the yarn, can you? You also, actually, so the sleeves knit from here up, from bottom up, and then the ribbing you actually pick up and knit down, and then the collar you knit up. So it's extremely clever. All of her ribbing, he told me she does ribbing, all of that also has lace in it as well. So, can you see? Yeah, also lace here, and she makes you change needle size every 2 rows to cinch in the top of the neckline. Super clever. What score would I give this? I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 because I'm not happy that I ran out of yarn. I'm not happy with the color block. I'm still confused and undecided on whether I like this or not. So I'm going to try and wear this in Hong Kong, take some photos and see how I feel about it. Worst case scenario, I rip it out or change the color block to something else. I think if I was going to color block, I should have got done across the shoulder as well, like that. That probably would have looked nicer. But now I'm out of the black. Poo-poo. Anyhow, so that is the last 15 of my 2024 finished objects. I'm just going to quickly get changed before I sum up because it is hot. Okay, thank you for staying with me. Thank you for staying with me throughout the last 2 videos. I will now start to edit this one. Editing is not my forte, not my favorite. It takes so long. And also my computer keeps running out of storage. So I have to get my hard drive out, move all the photos over, move over some videos, and then continue to edit. That's why you'll see a lot of my raw footage from my previous videos I've deleted and never to be seen again accidentally. Probably not too accidentally because I don't really need raw footage. But yeah, a normal Mac, it just does not have enough room to make vlogs. I don't know how other people do it. They must be very dedicated with backups and storage. And I'm a lazy person, so this is a bit of a tedious process for me. However, I do enjoy sharing my knitting journey with you, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you have any feedback, comments on any of my finished objects, maybe ways I can style them, maybe suggestions on cold places I can hang out in so I can wear them, that would be fantastic. But otherwise, I hope you have a great New Year's. Hope you enjoyed 2024, and I'll see you next year.